Hello friends, and thank you for joining me once again today. Now in Mark chapter 9 verses 33 to 35, Jesus asks his disciples a question. He says to them, "What were you arguing about along the way?" They'd been arguing about which one of them was the greatest, and so they didn't answer. And so he said to them, "If you want the place of honor, you must serve others." Now, if after living with Jesus day and night for 3 years, his own disciples struggled with the concept of humility, then it's not really surprising that we struggle with humility too, is it? Jesus showed the disciples what it meant to be humble by giving them a practical example. In John chapter 13, verses 3 to 5, we read that during the meal, Jesus got up, removed his outer garment, and wrapped a towel around his waist. He put some water into a large bowl. Then he began washing his disciples' feet and drying them with the towel that he was wearing. Jesus then went on to say, "If your Lord and teacher has washed your feet, then you should do the same for each other. I have set the example, and you should do for each other exactly what I have done for you." But serving others the way Jesus asks is really hard, isn't it? It can be really tough. We can often feel like we're in competition with others, trying to prove our worth, just like the disciples were arguing about who was the greatest. Because people annoy us, they hurt us or put us down, and the very last thing we feel like doing is being humble and serving them, especially if they're not doing the same for us. But serving humbly is serving without expectation of something in return. It's more than just an action that we're called to do. The author and preacher Chuck Swindoll wrote this. He said, "For the followers of Jesus, humility is not a religious concept, it's a way of life." So let's make sure that humility is our way of life too. So why don't you try to think of a way that you could serve someone else today, and then go and put that thought into action. Let's pray. We'll say the Lord's Prayer together. Our Father, who art in heaven, hallowed be thy name. Thy kingdom come, thy will be done on earth as it is in heaven. Give us this day our daily bread, and forgive us our trespasses, as we forgive those who trespass against us. And lead us not into temptation, but deliver us from evil. For thine is the kingdom, the power, and the glory, forever and ever. Amen.